might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space.
Weekend Game Plan gets out into the community with Suburban Newspaper's sports editor Mark Lidbetter and the Amateur Sports Report.
Sports at thesuburban.com for an item for this particular weekly segment or the weekly newspaper. How you doing, Mark?
Very good. Go Blues, go.
All right. Well, that's one side of things for sure. Let us get to some GMAA items, including flag football.
Yeah, and the St. Thomas High School Knights Juvenile Girls Flag Football Squad battled to successfully defend their Juvenile Division II crown for a repeat as champions. They had a come-from-behind 27-20 victory over the Villa Maria Lynx. Now, the Lynx carried a comfortable 20-7 lead into the break on the strength of 3 touchdown performance by Alexia Piazza that included a pick-six interception that gave the Lynx their 27 halftime lead. And Knights quarterback Sina Cottrell connected with Samantha Lee Goldman on the opening play of the second half to close the gap to 2013, and then Goldman was golden on a 6-yard reception as the Knights pulled even when Emma Tennant added the convert. Then Sophia Belanger scored a touchdown off an interception late in the fourth quarter to give St. Thomas its first lead, which they managed to hold on to beat the Lynx for the championship.
Wow, that sounds pretty darn compelling. Good stuff there. All right, let's move on to, kicking people.
Yeah, and NDG's Academy de Karate Alexandru Sorin placed 9 athletes on Team Quebec for the national championships held recently in Edmonton, and that was quite an accomplishment as Quebec is one of the provinces with the most practitioners of the sport. So competition to make provincial-level teams is very tough, and in the past 3 years, the club would average a couple of athletes on the team. But when all was said and done, a third of the 9 came back home with medals. Angelia Grandea, age 14, took gold. 13-year-old David Ihaza and 19-year-old Peter Ihaza both earned silver. Now, all 3 hail from NDG, and at the beginning of July will attend a Team Canada training camp as members of the club. Then in August, David and Angelia will represent Canada at the Pan American Championship set for Ecuador in August.
Very, very cool. Say, Mark, what is Le Club Médaille d'Or?
Le Club Médaille d'Or is an organization that recognizes amateur athletes, and they actually get a medal replica when they go into their Hall of Fame or they're made members. They do fundraisers and give out bursaries to up-and-coming athletes. So they support amateur athletes in a great way. They have a lot of events over the course of the year, and they're pretty well unsung, so that's why I like to mention when they have an event.
Fascinating there, and just a couple of the highlights there. I see figure skater Joni Rochette and para swimmer Benoit Huot were inducted.
Yeah, that they were. And thing is, Rochette, who trained out of the St. Leonard Figure Skating Club and took part in her first Olympic Games in Turin in 2006, where she placed 5th in the individual event. She was back on the Canadian team at Vancouver, where she medaled in that heart-wrenching scenario following her mother's death. She was in 7 World Championships and went podium in 2009 with silver. She collected 3 medals at the ISU Four Continents Championships during her career, and she was crowned champion on 6 occasions, national champion, and she was the first Canadian to achieve this feat in 3 different categories. Now, Longueuil's Benoit Huot has been a constant on the international swimming scenes for many years. He was a member of the para swim team from 1998 to 2018, and he has no less than 20 medals in 5 Paralympic game appearances, including 6 in his first games. And that total makes him the second most Paralympian to medal for Canada, just back of the 21 medals won by swimmer Michael Edgson and the incomparable Chantal Petitclerc. Now, they are both members of the Hall of Fame, and they've been inducted to the Club Médaille d'Or's Hall of Fame, and they'll continue to help support younger athletes as members there.
Very, very nice story there. All right, finally, a baseball item for us here, Mark.
Today being the nicer day of the weekend by the weather reports.
Yeah.
You know, let's no better way to kick off the month of June than by taking in a ball game. And there's a good one set for 2 p.m. this afternoon at LaSalle Stade Eloy Vio, which is down at Riverside Park in LaSalle.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, when the Quebec Junior Elite Baseball League's LaSalle Cardinals host the Charlesbourg Alouettes. Now, the Cards sit in first place in the Groupe Verdure division with a 4-1 record. They've been playing very good ball. With the probable pitchers for the games today is Connor Angel for the LaSalle squad and Samuel Lizotte for the Alouettes.
Actually, Connor Angel was a former guest on this show a couple of years ago. He played for the national team as well, some good ball there.
There's several players in the league that have been on the national team, and it's really great ball to take in.
Yeah, it's a cool venue as well. Sports at thesuburban.com if you want to get in touch with Mark for this weekly segment or for the weekly newspaper. Mark, thank you as always.
My pleasure. Have a great week, gentlemen.
All right, weekend game plan here on TSN 690. I'm Matthew Ross. Jay Farrar is in for John Still. Dave Trentadue is here as well. And we'll take you up until 9 o'clock. Play It Again radio show with Mitch Gallo coming up at that point. Later on today here on TSN 690, 2 to 4 p.m. Habs Hot Topic with Campbell and Gallo, followed by the Impact pregame show. 5 o'clock, it is the kickoff for Impact versus Orlando City, live from Stade Saputo with Rick Moffitt and Grant Needham on the call. After your Sports Center with Jay Farrar on the other side, we'll talk some Stanley Cup final as well as free agency with NHL.com's Pete Jensen. We'll see what he thinks in terms of what's better for the NHL, a Blues Cup win or a Bruins Cup win.